Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Oracle and Tarot reading. This will be for October 23rd into the 29th, and we'll just see how the energies come forward for us. How was the Aries full moon for everyone? Was it intense for you like it was for me? Oh, it was like the weird subtleties that normally from the outside looking in wouldn't be that extreme, but like underneath the surface so many things were being released, so many things were being brought to the surface in terms of what's working or what's not working and what identity like I personally want to shift into. And I kept feeling this collective resurgence happening. Like a lot is shifting, a lot is still very much like I'm hearing in the construction of, but we can still, even in those times of uncertainty or the loose ends, we can still find our own solutions. We can still find our own pathways that navigate us and thus helps the collective. If that makes sense, take that all as you will. But let's work with the Sovereign Vibrations Oracle deck today. And the Muse Tarot will go into it deeper. But let's see what cards from the Oracle deck we're meant to work with, what we need to know. I keep hearing there's like a resurgence, but a resettling of how we're going to keep taking action. It's this presence that we've gained from ourselves, from these energies, these frequencies, so that we can take action with such deep awareness that that little action in even of itself is already such a deep intention, if that makes sense. What else do we need to know? I got one card that came out, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got a lot popping out. So the first card we got was the Forgiveness card, which I love this in connection to the Aries full moon that we're integrating, that we're building into the Scorpio energy of the season and the new moon of Scorpio, which is next week. Where can we forgive ourselves for doing things that maybe were an autopilot or maybe from a reactive state that we regret on the other side of, right? Forgiveness for others who may not understand our way of being, our way of just being in the world, I'm hearing, but communicating differently, a forgiveness towards even the collective's construction and this upheavaling of not understanding how to find these connective points to find more harmony for our communities, our groups, our way of society as a whole. The affirmation for forgiveness is, I release with love, trusting the knowing that all has divine purpose. My heart is free and open. And I love this card too because there's the flower of life inside of the energy of forgiveness, because that is the fabric of our reality, our emotional intelligence. We have to have some emotional awareness in order to forgive. It's still having an open heart even when we've been wronged or when we've been in the wrong ourselves. And then we get the Soul Blueprint card. And the affirmation is, within every moment, my soul reconnects to the highest galactic blueprint that is in alignment for the highest good of all. So I'm hearing in this way, we can bring that forgiveness because we can see a higher perspective. We can understand that our flaws are also a part of what make our wholeness. And then it's funny, we got the You Are Whole card. And this card is one of the guided meditations. Number 4, so a new way of foundation, a new way, and even this card looks chaotic, right? But there's these pillars that come into the center core of it, and it feels like I'm hearing this way, our core, our wholeness is getting restructured. It's getting a new foundation through forgiveness, through this tapping in of our galacticness, our soul's true essence of what it wants to be. And then we got the Taurus energy coming in. So talk about anchoring into our home, into what we value, into what connects us to the world more and to others. The affirmation is, my every action is a stepping stone to what I value and desire to create. So I love this in that way too, because like I was channeling in the beginning, where it's like every action has that value. It has this determination, and the Taurus energy can be kind of stubborn sometimes, but I'm hearing it's in a stubbornness that actually is positive. It's this is my value. This is what I care about. This is how I identify right here and now. And it can change. It can be mutable. And it's forgiving ourselves for maybe not allowing ourselves to change or to be different or to be upfront with people, to have that stoic energy of this is me and this is, I'm complete and whole and a work in progress all at the same time. So it's having that vulnerability and determination to show up, and to know too that when we're here with our deep awareness and our sensitivities, we're meant to do things differently. Our soul has a different path than what our human may really want to fully merge into. And maybe that also requires some forgiveness along the way too, because it's a lot of challenging aspects to be so different in a world that is very, I even want to say like stereotypical. It's like we're breaking the molds. We're creating a whole new way of being. We're creating a whole new way of wholeness. I'm hearing, oh yeah, we got peace popping through. So a whole new way of finding peace, a whole new way of bringing peace to ourselves by stating our boundaries, by holding places of forgiveness. The affirmation for peace is, even in the unknown ever-changing times, my mind, heart, and emotions are rooted in divine peace and tranquility. So I'm hearing in this way, what brings you peace? What brings you connected to your value, to your wholeness, right? We're always reaching new levels of what we understand our wholeness to be. And even that is, like I keep saying, the Japanese, like, I don't think it's a proverb, but it's the imagery of when a glass or a cup breaks, they mold it back together with gold and it actually has more value. Excuse me. So there's seeing our pieces that we don't want to bring into our wholeness or feel like that make our wholeness are actually these pieces of gold that brings more value when we help them or allow them to even integrate. And I'm seeing it in this way. It's like these pieces of light language coming in to help enhance ourselves, enhance our value, enhance our blueprint of ourselves. It's interesting, the same action of energy, these parallel, circular, perpendicular construction lines. I'm hearing it's helping us take back our power, helping us even find forgiveness, because it can be hard to have forgiveness for things that are really dark, things that have been really challenging, forgiving people or situations that don't even want to take accountability for things, right? It's not easy to be in that lane of forgiveness, but what forgiveness brings us isn't a clean slate always with someone or a situation. It brings us more of that peace. It brings us more of our power back. It brings us more gratitude for these lessons that we've learned through these hard times, so that we can have deeper discernment and even more compassion. And thus that boundary of, this is what I'm willing to connect with, this is what I'm willing to anchor in. Because when we have strong boundaries, we create more fluidly. I'm hearing we create more on purpose and less on autopilot. And we also attract people that honor those boundaries, honor our values, honor where they can also come in and ask for our forgiveness and own up to their faults or their own shortcomings. Wow. What do we need to know with the tarot? And as always, now I will have the short clips of the sound baths for all of the oracle cards that we got today. So if you want to get a little short clip of each sound bath, that will be at the very end of the reading today. And that's what's included in my oracle deck. Each card has a sound bath meditation or a guided meditation. There's over 8 hours of sound healing music. And you access them, all of the cards, sound baths, through the guided guided, the guidebook. Oracle guidebook, and the QR codes then take you to my website that hosts the cards sound baths, and each one actually has the center graphic, and it has like a movie motion kind of thing with the sound, so it's a very immersive experience. I highly recommend listening with headphones too, even the clips at the end. Ooh, what else do we need to know today for this week? It's already the end of October. It's so crazy to me. The holidays are here. It's almost Halloween. Okay, we got quite a few cards. Interesting. We actually get a lot of last week's tarot cards coming through. But I'm hearing it's this, like everything, there's a building of our frequencies, a building of our lessons. So within forgiveness, right underneath it, we get the Eight of Materials. So sometimes I'm hearing in this way when we're avoiding forgiveness or avoiding harder aspects, when we try to not even receive, when we're afraid to receive and be vulnerable, we can hold a lot of things on our own plate that can ultimately lead to burnout. It can lead us to feeling resentful. It can lead us to lose our excitement about what we do in our world, what we do with our work. So I'm hearing in this way, it's releasing all of what we're juggling by allowing people to come in. And we got the Strength card again. So there's strength within our vulnerability. There is strength when we can lean on someone else. It's like this woman leaning on the tiger or the lion to help shield us and anchor us and root us in our power. And I'm hearing in this way too, we still may be reprogramming or re-healing our nervous system when it comes to fight or flight. Like that's what I'm seeing with this red color of her dress. The strength to actually reprogram our old autopilot instincts. And it came right underneath the Taurus card. So maybe even we've been so programmed or so in the grain and ingrained in these habits that we thought we valued or thought our goals were striving us to. And really, in reality, we're actually seeing it's old programming, these old ways of being, generational, kind of oppressive. This is the way to look successful. This is the way to be whole, even. It came out right in between the You Are Whole and the Taurus card. So it just still taking some time to go within and asking yourself, is this way I've responded or is this goal I'm working towards really in alignment? What is it really bringing to my life? And maybe I'm hearing in this way too, it's syncing up more into the energy of what it's bringing to us, and that actually already will satisfy our craving, and the desired result can actually come to fruition in a way that we didn't really think was going to be that satisfying, or a way that actually serves our path, maybe it's career related. It serves us more than what we thought, and because we were holding so many confinements or restrictions or expectations around it, us tapping into the energy of already having it allows it to manifest. Sometimes we can kind of, in this way I'm hearing, like get emotionally constipated, or even like manifestation constipation of like wanting to have it happen, and like it's this energy of I can do it, I don't need anybody, I got this, this hyper vigilance, right? But sometimes that can just keep us like in our own making of our own unhappiness or like pacification, I'm hearing. But it's this almost micromanaging the universe. And that also like backs up what our allowing of things to flow, that fluidity. So we get the Muse of Voices when we actually step into, hello, there it is. Oh, she's not, sorry everybody, she's not focusing well here. There we go. We get the Muse of Voices when we actually are tuning into some play, to some fluidity of allowing, trusting like this horizon pathway that's leading us beyond what we thought was possible. And it's really anchoring into our soul's voice. This came over right above peace. So focusing in on what really brings you peace. Is it dancing? Is it, again, it's the little things that can bring us so much joy and peace in the moment of being present. Because that's when we even have, we got the Ace of Emotions again, more emotional fulfillment. Maybe it's even swimming. Did your inner child love to be a part of the ocean? Did it love like tapping into those little aspects, right? Can shift even seeing more of our wholeness. Maybe it's, I'm hearing in the strong way, like inner child work, allowing that part, because then it brings in that value of what you really care about. Taking yourself into a sillier place and not so serious. Ooh, I got the Tower card as I'm talking about the seriousness. And it came right underneath this Eight of Materials, feeling like you have to do it all on your own. So if you feel that you have to keep it all together, the universe might be bringing in a Tower energy moment of, actually, when we're in a community, we're stronger together. So if you have been hearing kind of those subtle hints or this quiet calling to make changes, or even maybe it's about your body needing some rest and it feels like you can't rest, you have to get it done. When we don't listen to those quiet little nudges of I'm tired, or what if I went to go do something more relaxing, but then we suppress it and go into work mode, again, like that burnout, we can have these Tower moments come in that are not so subtle anymore. They're very loud. They're very in our face. So our goal is to listen to the whispers until before it even turns into a scream, so that we're honoring our needs, honoring things happening for us. But I'm seeing with this Tower card too, this also can just be a sudden transformation that we've been waiting for, but it still takes us off guard. And I actually just put out a podcast episode about sudden transformation and how we can reframe triggers around these situations. And I give a lot of different examples and some personal examples of sudden transformation. But any type of Tower moment, even though it may feel very dark, it may feel like it pulls us out from under or out of our path of what we're wanting, there is a reason. There is a reason we're being shifted to a new place and having this transformation come forward. I'm hearing it might even be like a relationship changing up, or maybe again it's about your physical body and allowing yourself to take some time to rest so that you maybe don't throw your back out or hurt your ankle or something like that. Like trusting that even too, when we do have these Tower moments, it's not necessarily even something that we did wrong or could have avoided or should have done something different. Sometimes things just happen and it's tough, right? Things get deconstructed so we can build anew. So I'm hearing, don't blame yourself. Maybe that's even where some forgiveness needs to come in, right? It's, I think as spiritual beings and sensitive beings, it's easy to be like, oh, I'm the bad one. I did something wrong if it's not working out, or if there's Tower energy, right? Some cards fell. I'm going to grab real fast. Oh, I got 3 cards. I'm even feeling kind of like anxious. So if you've been feeling a lot of anxiety, maybe it's taking something off your plate, making a cancellation. Just be like, I can't make it. Right? And even if you feel guilty, if you're in a state of anxiety, that's not good for anybody, right? And anxiety can even be just from being so sensitive sometimes and feeling the collective energy. But I'm feeling this energy of like needing to take a breath. Just be here. Bringing the power back, right? Sometimes we can just give our energy focus, especially with social media, right? We could just be on our energy of scrolling, feeling, numbing. Just be. Which I know it can be uncomfortable to be in that pause, because then we have to feel, we have to just allow. And that can feel terrifying sometimes. The cards that fell to the ground, which feel like this big kind of don't ignore energy, is that if we're having a Tower moment, we're clearing something up. She's tying her shoe before she goes into this new portal of manifestation, this new way of being. And maybe that's about reflecting on old emotions. Again, I got the inner child energy, allowing ourselves to really be grateful for what's happened in our lives, even if there has been some sadness and disconnection from our joy. because our inner voice sometimes is telling us, we're not getting this card to, there we go, Eight of Voices. We can feel weighed down by our voices or the old thoughts. I'm hearing even the programming that happened when we were very young. So giving yourself time to recognize too that your voices are not who you are. Like that mind chatter is not you, really you. It's tuning into your soul's actual blueprint and not your human programming, I'm hearing. Because when we can clear these two main big aspects up, clear up the final ties, or clear up so that we can also have a better way of speaking to ourselves when we get into that space of confusion or ways of feeling not in alignment with ourselves. Or I'm even hearing like when we're constantly wanting to have other people's viewpoints or opinions of ourselves, taking our power back so that we can be our own guiding compass, so that we can already feel more whole as we move on to our next venture or make a next decision. Trusting that as we do more for ourselves, we're actually reinstating the normalcy of honoring our truth, honoring our peace, and honoring that spot of, I'm hearing this way, like really stepping into our value, even if people might think we're being selfish or being whatever. There can be so many things of what people project, because when we're honoring our needs, it can trigger other people. Just even being that simple of truth to ourselves, when people aren't doing that for themselves, they can feel threatened by another person doing what they wish they could, even though everyone has these ways of accessing, honoring our innermost self, right? It's kind of, I'm hearing in that way also, like taking blinders up sometimes if we're needing to really honor and focus ourselves, but we feel like there's distractions, or maybe I'm hearing even this tower moment of people and things trying to come in and take us down. Even flipping that on its head, like we're seeing this flipping upside down, and just seeing like however you're being treated is a projection of how that person feels inside, how they're handling their world. And we can either give that permission to come into our being and to feel that and to take it personally, or we can hold that boundary of, okay, you're showing me where you're at and I appreciate where you're at, but I'm not there, or I'm not willing to meet you at your level because I'm doing my own thing, right? And I think that can always be a new up-leveling for all of us, because we're always hitting these, our own internal ceilings, our own spiritual walls in a way, that are calling for us to go deeper into our emotions, go deeper into our vulnerability, and to be that kind of light or permission slip for others, but to not also need external validation in order to keep making these changes for ourselves or changing these old generational aspects, right? Yeah. Beautiful. We also got the Queen of Materials again. So we're really anchoring in how to be confident with our external reality and the manifestations that we're having, or even the manifestations that are happening internally and thus are echoing out and creating in their own divine timing as well. So, a lot is happening this week still for us, and anchoring in again that Aries full moon, and then building into the Scorpio energy, which the Scorpionic energy can cause us to be very extra sensitive about our emotional states, or even about not wanting to have some outward help sometimes. So that could be what's also coming up for us in different ways, where we're being shown where we're feeling scared of our vulnerability or scared of asking for help and also then receiving it. So just kind of being aware of those patterns I think with the Scorpio energy as well, a lot of people can be quick to respond. It's kind of like that scorpion, like pinching aspect of like, you're too close to me, or not hitting people's triggers really easily, or people being triggered and kind of provoking or lashing out in some way. So just having compassion for those in your environment, but again, not to the point of your own self-sacrifice, and also to the point of taking it personally in any way, because even though it's so easy as sensitive beings to feel like if you're aware of something, then it's equals your responsibility, not all the time, right? We can be aware and still just let it be. Sometimes that brings us the peace. Like I'm thinking of the Beatles song, Let It Be, right? So let there be more peace in your life, and maybe write down or journal what aspects bring you peace. And maybe if you don't know of anything that really brings you peace, maybe trying certain things and see if does that help you tune more into some relaxation, into some more peace of your mind. It could be even looking at the ocean or listening to certain music, walking in nature. Being around animals helps me go into states of peace, unless they're like messing with my plants and stuff. Like my cats play with my plants and I literally get so angry. But for example, like it's even those times where we feel like our boundaries are being crossed. Like where can we bring some silliness into that so that we're also more fluid with just trusting even the things that pull us out of peace, help us find more connections to peace, if that makes sense. More value in that wholeness of being, right? Because even when we create or feel contrast, we're finding a deeper way of connecting to the other polarity at the same time. So just some food for thought. I hope you guys have a beautiful week. I will see you for next week's Scorpio new moon. And yeah, stay tuned if you want to hear the little sound clips from today's oracle cards that we got. And my oracle deck is available for purchase, and we ship worldwide if you'd like to get it. You also get a free 30-minute reading with me, which I have been loving that so much, connecting with all of you and reading and explaining more of the oracle deck, and a couple other goodies you get with it upon purchase as well. But yeah, if you feel guided to that, you can find the links below. Working together, if you want even just a personal reading, where we talk about what's going on with you and use the cards to bring in some guidance, we can do that as well. Or a healing session, which I love doing those too, like going deeper into your healing journey, how to balance your energies, your blocks that you may feel like they're troubling. We go into the depths of why they're here, what they're teaching you, and how to overcome them so you feel more powerful in your spiritual abilities and your awareness. And if you feel guided for a channeling session, I have that as well, where I channel tons of different star beings. You can pick a certain being like the Arcturians, or we can even channel your higher self. And it's an hour long where I channel whatever being, and you get to communicate them like we're talking one-on-one, but they bring in lots of beautiful light codes and messages. And yeah, so that's available too. All right, I love you all so much. I'll see you for next week's reading. Bye.